Good evening once again and a very warm welcome to Rwanda Television News with me, Gloria Mutesi. Starting us off tonight, health officials here in Rwanda have confirmed that only 8 of the country's more than 30 COVID-19 treatment centers have remained operational, with the rest closing because of the continued falling numbers of infection rates. More than 1,500 patients have been successfully treated and sent home in just a span of a month. Sessionary kicks us off tonight with this report.
September saw the start of the fall in the COVID-19 infection rates, but October has seen the greatest changes. An example of this can be seen in the fact that on the 18th of September, Rwandan doctors were caring for 1,801 COVID-19 patients, but by the 17th of October, 169 remained. That is a 35% increase in recovery cases from 61 to 96% in just 1 month. There is a reason for this. We're now left with just 8 COVID-19 treatment centers still open. There was a time when we had more than 30, and the reduction in treatment centers can be attributed to 2 things. You spoke of the first, which is a reduction in the infection rate, leading to some centers closing because there were not enough patients coming in. However, there is also the reason of our treatment policy changing, with non-critical asymptomatic patients being treated at home. Those are the majority, and that is why some of those centers closed. Pandemic experts are commending the measures Rwanda adopted to fight the threat. Seeing the figures reduce when they were once so high is an indication that the measures adopted have been producing results. That is the first point I want to make. The fact is, the pandemic cannot just start to subside by itself, because we have seen in many countries where measures are not being implemented and people are just waiting for the infection rates to fall by themselves. They have been rising. Even worse is the fact that different reports have been indicating new strains of the virus in different places that are much worse than the original strain. And that is why they are now adopting stricter measures in some parts of those countries, including a lockdown in places like France and elsewhere, where figures are now 4 times as high as they used to be, and the infection rates are close to 1 million. With such progress in the fight against COVID-19 here in Rwanda, some people have begun to deceive themselves that the virus might have been defeated, but those in the fight say that is not so. The message I have is that people should continue implementing the preventive measures so that one day we can truly celebrate victory. But for now, the pandemic is still present and could catch us off guard if we tell ourselves that because the figures have been dropping, we can become complacent. Among the things that appear to have helped reduce infection rates so significantly, and research has proved this, is outdoor activities that help slow down infections as opposed to indoor activities. I therefore have to emphasize that gatherings that bring together many people should be held outside because it is helping us fight this. In many developed countries, especially in Europe, many people are now staying indoors a lot because of the cold and infection rates are spiking. And so we want to emphasize that outdoor gatherings help reduce the spread of COVID-19. A little more than 7 months after the first COVID-19 case was identified in Rwanda, more than 470,000 tests have been conducted, with an infection rate of just 0.3% identified.
Still on COVID-19 related issues from the Ministry of Health today, Rwanda recorded 3 new people that tested positive for the coronavirus among the 1,881 tests that were conducted today. 15 new people have recovered in the last 24 hours, and the active cases are currently 157. Among the positive cases that were identified today, 2 are from Kigali and 1 from Nyagatare district, signed Ministry of Health. some people with visual and hearing impairments, and those with other disabilities that are hard on them but still have the ability to buy a car ask that it may be made easier to import cars and tax may be deducted, as is the case for people with disabilities. This is based on the fact that the cost of travel for them is very high due to their disability. Martina Abera has more.
Making him unable to drive. He is now driving a car made in such a way that what he would have done with his legs, he does with his hands only. It is a car that costs 2.5 million Rwandan francs, also considering the existing law allowing for the convenience of people with disabilities to import cars without the burden of tax. Ndatimana Janvier and Executive Secretary of the Council of Persons with Disabilities, Emmanuel Ndaisaba, are one of the people who imported a car through such means. When I start the car and I pull the gear to my side, you can hear the sound. That is the accelerator. So when I start moving and I pull it down like this, it becomes the brakes. So when I use them both, it proves that I don't really need legs to drive the car, and I can drive anywhere in the country. The whole time I was at home, I wasn't able to go anywhere because I was paralyzed for good. So this opportunity helped me interact with people in a way that I couldn't before. I was able to visit my family members and be able to meet my friends and have conversations. In a way, this also helped me not to be depressed. Emmanuel Nshimiyimana, who is deaf, has been driving for more than 8 years with a driver's license that he got from other countries. He finds that people with similar disabilities should be allowed to apply for A1 and B1 licenses because they are also competent, according to the sign language he is using, which is being interpreted in the voice of Fidel Irizabimbuto. I am definitely an example because I have been driving for more than 8 years now and I haven't had any accident, and I'm always in Kigali. It was only a few days ago when I was driving and someone knocked me and I literally became their brakes. When the police came and did the test, they realized that I wasn't in fault at all and insurance paid for all the damages. So it is proof that those with disabilities of blindness and deafness should be allowed to work for A1 and B1 permits. On the other hand, this law does not apply to people with disabilities such as blindness, deafness, and others. However, they also point out that travel is difficult, according to Safari William and Consolatrice Niyibizi. A person with such disabilities will be obliged to use motors frequently. Even where one would have walked, they use motors. There are also instances where you find that there are places that bikes can't go. So when the bus leaves him or her at the bus stop, you find that the person is stranded with the inability to grab a bike simply because bikes can't reach the destination, which is really hard on the person. I believe that this law should also put into consideration all persons with disabilities and not just a specific group. Emmanuel Ndaisaba, Executive Secretary of National Council of Persons with Disabilities, believes that this request is justified and that it is being discussed upon. If the person with the disability is financially able, I believe the government can be able to help, and we are working on it with the ministry in charge of it to see if the law can be changed. The most important thing is that the vehicle is registered on the person and it is their mode of transportation. Even after 5 years, the person can be able to buy another one. However, he or she can't resell it, especially the fact that such cars have special serial numbers registered on the owners. Jean-Pauline Uitonze, Deputy Commissioner for Taxpayer Services at Rwanda Revenue Authority, says that this request will definitely be discussed. The challenge is to ensure that the vehicle is in line with the disability of the one who sent for it. The law states that the vehicle should be able to ease the life of the person with a disability. So when a person with a disability of blindness buys a normal vehicle, in truth, it is not really going to help him or her in any way. Nevertheless, it is a good thing that the Council of Persons with Disabilities partners with Rwanda Revenue Authority to be able to voice out the need of change in the law.
bikaba byazatekerezwaho mu itegeko.
Since the enactment of the law, about 30 vehicles have been imported by people with disabilities, according to the NCPD administration. Martina Abera, RTV News.
Thank you, Martina. The Rwanda Food and Drugs Authority has noted that it's been receiving cases of people affected by certain types of medicines and foods that have been touted in the media as beneficial to their health when it was not true. The Rwanda FDA says it's now going to start providing evidence against such products during litigation cases with an objective of protecting the interests of consumers. Stationery continues.
Exaggerated ads with products claiming almost miraculous properties have now become commonplace, and at the core, Rwanda's Consumers' Rights Protection Organization says the people behind such ads are just looking to steal people's money with their fake claims and products and should legally answer for their actions. There are even claims that certain products, drinks or medicine cure poverty, bad luck and things like that. That is a direct violation of consumer rights and their access to accurate information as well as quality products. Advertising such outlandish claims should be punished. Those in the business of selling nutritional supplements, traditional medicines and other such products agree that unqualified practitioners use the media to make their products popular and say stricter regulation measures can help clean up their industry. Officials at the Rwanda Food and Drugs Authority say they have received complaints about products that did not deliver on the promises they were advertised with. It has become clear that some consumables in Rwanda, especially herbal medicines, have been used in false advertising, and I can tell you that many people have been negatively affected after using such products. Some have been crippled, while others have been afflicted with other serious conditions, such as damaged livers. The Rwanda FDA has therefore announced some very important changes. No one is going to ever again advertise things that are not scientific fact. That means if you claim, for example, that your medicine treats diabetes, then you must show its ingredients and have them registered. That information will then be stored by the Rwanda FDA and used in hospitals or courts of law if necessary, if there are any ramifications that need addressing and a person's rights can be protected. The Rwanda FDA says the new measures are to come into effect in just 1 month's time, and any violators will face the legal consequences of their actions. The authority says more than 600 types of edible consumables have so far been registered, as well as 1,038 medicines.
In Gisagara district, people and small-scale industrialists are happy that a lot of effort has been put into distributing electricity to various sectors. Statistics show that in 2010, households with electricity were 2%, and now they are more than 60% with all cells in Gisagara so far having electricity. In 1994, only 20 homes in Gisagara district had electricity, but now you will find electricity wires and poles spread to different parts, with homes, commercial centers, administrative offices, and some streets all lit with electricity. This was not the case in the last 10 years. In 2010, electricity distribution to the population in Gisagara district was at a 2% rate. Access to electricity was still a dream for the people. Back then, if a person had a small lantern, that person would be well off. Otherwise, we would all sit by the fireplace while cooking. Children would sit there and eat as we added firewood to keep the fire until we finished eating, unlike those that had the small lanterns. Currently, in the entire Gisagara district, electricity has been distributed at a rate of 60%. Jave Sanzabaganwa and his wife, Epiphany, are elders and residents who now enjoy the benefits of having electricity. It's only last year that we got the electricity in all the cells. I also have it in my home. I saw them bringing electricity wires and poles. They gave us power for many days. And then after, we also bought for ourselves. I also get to switch on power in my house and it lights up. I thank President Paul Kagame for extending this development to us. In the major commercial centers in all the 13 sectors of the district, there are businesses facilitated by the use of electricity, which has simplified the lives of the people. Jean-Pierre Bimenyimana, a welder in Musha sector, believes that electricity has been a catalyst for development in the region. I've been able to develop myself by getting where I can assemble my equipment for work. I have a house. I'm able to pay my insurance scheme Mituel, and I've gained a lot from having electricity. Electricity distribution in Gisagara district has also attracted investors, including industrialists. However, they say they use a lot of power in production, as Munyamundu Celestine, that has a juice manufacturing factory, remarks. If a factory has no power, then it doesn't work well. Before, we would use power worth 1 million Rwanda francs per month. But now we have added juice. We estimate that this might double, which is expensive every month. Gisagara district mayor says the district's plan is to provide electricity to every village so that by 2024, no homes will be left without electricity. We are happy about this step that we've taken, but I can say that the journey still continues because the agenda is to distribute it at 100% rates. And the president said that Rwandans by 2024 will all have electricity. So that's the journey we are taking. And seeing where we are from and where we currently are, it's all possible. In Gisagara district, 63.8% of households have access to electricity, with Muchindo sector having the highest percentage, accounting for 80% of electricity distribution. Nyanza sector is the lowest with 53%. All the 59 cells in the Gisagara district have access to electricity. The construction of a power plant worth 350 billion Rwanda francs is also underway in the district. It is expected that upon completion, it will provide 80 megawatts per hour. You're still watching Rwanda Television News. Women in the southern province from various political parties in Rwanda say that in the aftermath of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, women are becoming more and more involved in politics thanks to opportunities Rwanda offers for women in education. This was revealed at the end of a two-day workshop organized by the National Consultative Forum of Political Parties in Rwanda. These women from the southern province from various political parties in Rwanda find that women have been given the opportunity, which they should use courageously and learn a lot, including science and technology. This is said to be one of the things that can help a woman to be more visible in various decision-making and political fields. Where we are currently, everything is driven by technology. I encourage the young generation to continue developing themselves with the way the world is trending. They should learn STEM subjects and embrace technology so that in the future they will be in the decision-making positions. We are still energetic and we have the opportunity, and we need to put in more effort so that we reach a point where our potential as women will help us in changing and developing the country in general. Burasanzwe Oswald, the Executive Secretary of the National Consultative Forum for Political Parties in Rwanda, says that being a woman in politics doesn't deter her from fulfilling her domestic duties. Being a politician is good, but you can also do other things to develop your family. As leaders of various political parties, they are also able to fulfill other responsibilities at home. That's why we've had such dialogues to help them have confidence and seek their potential within themselves to develop themselves. The 88 women from the southern province attended the training courses that included women's empowerment in politics and women's role in the national development. Thank you for your company tonight. Stay well and stay safe. Have a good night and a bright new week ahead. God bless you and keep you. Until next time, I'm Gloria Mutesi.